I feel like this is the first time I've spoken in a very, very, very long time. Welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel, SHUGAS. My name is Shanghase, and this is my YouTube channel where I speak about all things books, DIY, and lifestyle. If that is your kind of jam, please do hit that subscribe button, hit the like, comment, also hit the little bell to get notified every single time your homegirl post a video. I just thought I should do this video because I feel like I have read some really nice books this year, and also I just like a couple of weeks ago I completed my Goodreads goal. I did add on to I think I added 5 books just because I felt like obviously I'm not gonna stop just because I've reached my goal, and I feel like it's been a pretty good year in terms of my reading. I've read some really great books. Just a disclaimer, this list is in no particular order, from my top 10 books so far, so it's just a random, it's not in any particular order, okay? Without further ado, without any chit chat, let's get right into it. First book that I think was one of the best books that I've read so far is The History of Man by Simpiwe Gloria Ndlovu. This book follows Emile Coetzee from a very young age, from how his parents met to how he became a man of history. Completely enjoyed this book and I thought it was a great read. At first, I thought it was gonna be I didn't think I was gonna enjoy it as much as I did. Yeah, this book is really just great, and we follow Emile through all his ups and downs, him discovering himself, him falling in love and falling out of love and falling in love and just meeting different people. I really enjoyed this book, and this book was gifted to me by Bargain Books, so shout out to them for giving me this book. Another book that is definitely I want to put it on a top 2 or something like that. Collective Amnesia by Koleka Phuthuma is one of the books that I considered the best this year. This poetry collection, guys, it's everything. It's literally everything. Basically, this book is just following the magic of being a Black child and the struggles also of being a Black queer person in different spaces, and the magic of women that have made history. To be more specific, it's such a beautiful read. It's such a beautiful read, and it's one of those books that actually made me feel seen. I haven't felt like that in a very long time. This collection just made me fall in love again with reading poetry, and just I loved everything about this book. Another book that was really top 2 is Transcendent Kingdom by Ya Jassi. Listen, Ya Jassi never misses for me. I'm still yet to get a copy because I don't want to get that other cover. There's a review that I did of this book here on my channel, so I'll put it on the cards or put it on the description below so you can check it out. I absolutely love this book. We followed Jifty, girl who was raised by a very religious Ghanaian mother. Follow their lives basically. We follow Jifty's family, how they migrated from Ghana to the US and how their life was there, and we see Jifty as a person who's very much obsessed about addiction and how humans get addicted, and that is rooted from her losing her brother to addiction. Basically, her brother overdosed on some pills, if I'm not mistaken. And the book opens up, Jifty is basically fetching her mom from the airport because her mom just had a very depressive episode, and her mom is going through a very depressive stage. It's not the first time that is happening, so she kind of just lives through. We go back and forth between the past and the present. I related in so many ways, being raised by parents who are very rooted in religion. Got to see myself a little bit in that, and how there are certain questions Jifty had, and I'm like, oh my gosh, these are the questions I still have even today. Things that you would wish to have answers to, but I think that's why sometimes she seeks to science to kind of explain the answers she can't get with religion, and sometimes she seeks to God and religion when there are certain answers science can't provide. Some people didn't like the fact that it was like you were also a PhD and you were you were reading a research paper or something like that. It just showed how the character is, and being in Jifty's mind, that's how she thought 24/7. Absolutely enjoyed that. That was one of my favorite parts. It's definitely one of my favorite reads for this year. Another book that is top 2 and not 2 is definitely Butter Honey Pig Bread by Francesca. This book was probably one of the most beautifully written books I've ever read. It is so good. It is so, so good. We follow Cambarinachi, the mother, and we follow her twin daughters, which is Taye and Kainde. I almost forgot the other girl's name. We follow through their journeys and how, betrayal and pain and unsaid conversations gone for too long can be such a huge bridge in family and in relationships, and how much it's very, very important to have some sort of outlet to actually deal with certain things if you can't have certain conversations. Francesca did this thing of writing things in a very foodie like way. Like sometimes she would explain a certain kind of pain that person was going through as if like it was a recipe. We saw that from Taye's side, because Taye is the one who is a foodie in the family, one that I related to the most, and the one that I absolutely adored the most, because she was just very forthcoming with her emotions and what she thought. Cambarinachi was sometimes you had to read between the lines, but I absolutely enjoyed that because I think it showed the different sides of the character. Sometimes it's not just what you see, it's what you get. Sometimes things are very cryptic, people think in a very different way than other people. I really love this book, and I think everyone should read it, everyone should have it, and I cannot wait to get a copy myself. Another book is definitely 1,000 Splendid Suns by Khalid Hossein. This book brought me to tears. I cried. Not once, maybe like twice. There is a reading vlog of this book on my channel, so I will leave it on the cards or in the description box below. Anything that they have said about Khalid, it is definitely true. I cannot wait to read more of his work, because one thing about me, child, y'all know that I like to cry in this book, and it's definitely one of the best books I've read this year. Let me tell you something. This book, I'm that type of person who likes to decide who I'm rooting for in a book from the get-go. Like, I need to know who I'm rooting for, who I need to win. This book, I still don't know. An American Marriage by Tayari Jones. First read by this author, and I absolutely love her. I cannot wait to read more of her work. Not only is her writing style like amazing, but just how she tells the story is just, and how she portrays every single character. Because Roy and Celestial, it was very just difficult to be like, I don't know who's wrong, I don't know who's right. I feel like they both deserved better. There's a lot going on. You just have to read this book to understand. But Celestial and Royal, a newlywed couple, they just like a year into their marriage when Roy gets arrested for a crime that he didn't commit, and he gets sentenced to 12 years in jail. We get to see their relationship, Roy being in jail, Celestial being on the outside, them having different dreams and aspirations, and some people are still holding on to certain dreams and aspirations, and it's just to see them grow and become different. There's a lot going on here, and I absolutely loved it. I was gripped. I'm usually the type that gets intimidated by small fonts, but this book was so good that I didn't even mind the small font. Like, it didn't bother me at all. Perfecto. Another read that is a non-fiction read is Queer There and Everywhere by Sarah Prager. So this book is basically like 23 people who are kind of like had a huge impact on our, like, the world's history. They're queer, they're gay, they're bisexual, they're transgender. Before you dive into their stories, you're given a history of basically like queer people and how certain words come about, and how in every single continent queer people have always existed. It's not a thing that just kind of like came out now. They've always existed. They've always been in our history. It's just that back in those times they were hidden, they were put on the back burner, and they were not recognized as human beings and people who changed a lot of things in history. But yeah, this book is really, really good, and I feel like for me it's a great YA introduction to queer reads. Like, if you really want to hop on into queer literature and it's something that you don't want to just get bamboozled from the get-go, want to take your time with reading queer literature, I suggest that you definitely start with this. Be knowledgeable about them and about the language, and also about pronouns, and identifying people the right way. I absolutely loved it. I absolutely enjoyed it. I cannot wait to read more queer literature. That is one of the books that I enjoyed. I have two romances that are kind of like bonuses to this best books so far of 2021. I've read White and Royal Blue by Cassie. I am always forgetting her surname. I have Take a Hint, Danny Brown by Talia Hibbert. These books were just, they made me feel warm and fuzzy, and I was just giggling and smiling and just really happy with myself. White and Royal Blue is a book about these two prestigious boys. Basically, one is the son of the US president and one is a prince of England. We get to see them go from not being very friendly to each other to them having this great friendship to them falling in love, and basically just facing challenges to how they're going to navigate their love as people who are in the public eye. It was so cute. And I also listened to this book as an audiobook on script, and the narrator was just amazing. Like how he was able to flip through, English and just bring British also at the same time. It was amazing. I also love the background characters of this book, and this is a great read. So if you're really looking for a romance that you're just gonna tickle your fancy, check it out. Take a Hint, Danny Brown. I read it earlier this year, and let me tell you something. I said it then and I'm gonna say it now. When I'm grown, I want to be Danica Brown, and that's on period. No, I was never, when I read romance, I used to read a lot of erotic romance, so I've never read romance where it's kind of like fake dating or anything like that. This book was a great introduction for me, so if you're into that, check it out. Last but definitely not least is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. There is definitely a reading vlog of this book, and I think you guys should check it out. I cried tears. I still don't know whether it's tears of sadness or tears of joy. I still don't know. But yeah, this book is basically amazing, and I talk about it in my reading vlog of this book, so I'll leave it on the cards and you can check it out. It's definitely one of the best books that I've read this year. So that is definitely all for this video. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to like and comment and tell me what are your best books for this year. Until next time, sugars, bye.